Hello, and welcome to how to put plain text into course modules or content in the Blackboard Learning Management System. Today, we're going to copy text from a Word document and reformat it into plain text in order for it to format correctly within the Blackboard environment. This becomes very important because you will find that a lot of times you will copy and paste from Word documents into Blackboard, but because of the background script that copies over from the Word document called XML, there becomes formatting errors on the page within Blackboard where the information looks disorganized and it's very difficult to read. So in order to correctly format this and make it so that we keep our Blackboard page as clear as possible, we're going to go over some tips and tricks to make sure that you know what you're doing. So the first thing you need to do is go into your Blackboard course and go into your course site where you want to paste text into the content. In this case, we're going into our weekly course lessons folder and we're scrolling down to week 12. For week 12, we're going to go to our gray submenu arrow, select it, and select Edit. Now this will bring up your normal editing page that comes with this content folder. For these purposes today, we are putting introductory text on a content folder, but this really will apply to any time you see this text box, which is the text editor within Blackboard. So what we'll do is we'll go over to our Word document, and just a quick Control A button on Windows or Command A on Mac will select all the text, and then Control C will copy it, Command C on the Mac. We want to minimize that back, and if we select inside the text editor and push Control V or Command V on the Mac again, you will see that all of our text comes up within this text box. Now you will notice it looks exactly the same as it did in Word. There's a few reasons behind this. It's copied over that XML formatting, so it keeps the spaces between the numbers and the line breaks in the certain areas that we had typed them up in originally. Now, in order to make sure that we get all of the XML out and cause no formatting errors, we want to do Control A or Command A again, and then up here on the text editing bar you will see the greater than, less than sign with a red line through it. That clears all formatting that copies over with this text. So we want to push that. You'll notice that it all blocks it out, so we will have to go back through and add that. One of the really important things to remember in Blackboard is that once you have cleared out any formatting that originally copied over with it, you want to make sure that everything is clear and still there. Sometimes it can delete text for whatever reason, so be very sure. Also, there's always a space that will come up in front of the first character that you type within any text box, so you want to make sure that you delete that space once you've gotten your text copied and formatted to plain text. So now that we're in plain text format, we're going to go back through and we're going to add back the spacing. Something really important in the Blackboard environment, occasionally it will not allow enters to be read by the HTML code that processes this to be read as line breaks. If you want to make sure that they are correctly read as line breaks, make sure to hit Shift and Enter when you are pushing Enter to create the line breaks. It's a better command in order to make sure that you do this. So real quick, we're just going to break this up into the line breaks that we originally had within our document. After you've added in all your line breaks, you may wish to indent certain things or change the font or the size or even the color of the font. This is where this entire bar within the text editor becomes very important. When you're doing this, you want to make sure that you are using only the tools provided within this text editor to modify or manipulate the text. So for example, let's indent these bullets, this list of numbers. We're going to indent it right once. Normally you would just go in a Word document to the first number and you would push tab. You can push tab within Blackboard, however, usually that won't register as an indent. You want to use this button called indent right, and it will indent all of the text correctly and in a form that Blackboard understands. We're going to also do that down here for this list of numbers. Alright, now after this you might want to change the font. I always recommend that you change the font size to 4. It's more readable. The 3 really comes through even smaller than it appears in this text box, and this 4 is about equivalent to a 12-point font in a Word document. For this class they use Garamond as the sans serif script, so we can do that as well. Now we want to add some bold. Again, normally in a Word document you could do Control B or Command B to bold something, but within this text editor we want to make sure that we're using the features that they are directly giving us buttons to within the text editor to make sure that it formats correctly. If you want to change the color of text, you just need to highlight the text, select the font color button, and you can select any pre-made color, or you can change these numbers within the color value box and make your own color. It uses the RGB scale, so any number 0 through 9 you can put into each column and create your own custom color if you so choose. You can always preview by hitting the preview button. As you can see, we're coming up with a dark maroon color here. We're going to apply that, and now this has been applied as a maroon to show a little difference in between the two segments that exist here within this. Now when we're done, we scroll down, you'll notice you have your content view. You can change if you just want to show an icon, if you just want to show that text. It always defaults to icon and text. It's really up to you. And then you have your options menu. This is where you can give students the ability to actually view this content within your course website under the permitted users. You can track the number of views and do statistics tracking, which we will be putting on. You can also do an adaptive release here and select the date and time restrictions. For course modules, it's not common to use a date and time restriction unless you are setting it to release to the students on a certain day. And usually it's an open-ended close in that case. You don't usually shut it down, as you'll want them to be able to have access for studying later on in the semester. So once we've set up all our options that we want, we're going to click the submit button, and remember, as always, we're only clicking once, not double clicking. And we get the green success bar that this has indeed been edited. And if we scroll down here to week 12, you will see that it did indeed copy out all that information and formatted it correctly within the Blackboard environment. So this has been Aiden Sizemore with how to format plain text within Blackboard for correct formatting view.